A baby is born. What is the very first question we ask about this brand new human being? Is it a boy or girl? We love to categorize things. Tall, short, thin, fat, black, white, gay, straight, boy, girl. And none of these things are opposites. They're just subjective points that lie along a continuum. Now today I'm going to talk about sex and gender. Sex is the biological factors that make us male or female. Gender is a social construct, how society wants men and women to act. And obviously there's differences between males and females, men and women, and we tend to underestimate some of the physiological differences and we overestimate some of the behavioral differences. I'm going to talk about some of these differences and also what causes them. So are they due to biological factors or societal factors? Is it nature or is it nurture? Anytime anyone asks you that question, is it nature or nurture? There's one answer. It's always both. So I'm going to start with some of the physiological differences. We assume that aside from the obvious and delightful differences between the male and female body, that inside we're pretty much the same. No, just about every organ system is different in males and females. And these differences have some significant medical ramifications. Heart attack. Classic signs of a heart attack. Pressure in the chest, pain radiating down the left arm. That's in men. Women don't get that as often. Women are more likely to get some shortness of breath, dizziness, nausea, indigestion. So a man and a woman, they're both having a heart attack. They show up in the ER. The man comes in with a pressure in the chest and the pain in the left arm, and he's immediately whisked into cardiac care. The woman comes in, and she's dizzy and nauseated and has indigestion. They give her Tums and send her home. Interestingly enough, when a woman comes in with the same symptoms as a man, she's still treated less aggressively, which is time for another talk. But there's these important physiological differences. Another one is metabolism. Men have a faster metabolic rate than women do. And women, if any of you have ever gone on a diet with a boyfriend or husband, you know what I'm talking about. Men lose weight easier. Damn them. And there's some biological reasons that underlie this. Men have more skeletal muscle. Muscle is hungry tissue. What I mean by that, just sitting there with your muscle, you are burning calories. Women have more adipose. Happy word for fat. Adipose is not a hungry tissue. Adipose doesn't need much to maintain it. Adipose sits there. I'm fine. Don't pay any attention to me. You don't have to feed me. I'm just going to sit here on your ass forever. That's what adipose does. So that's one of the biological factors that underlie this. Another one takes about 88,000 calories to maintain a pregnancy from start to finish. 88,000 calories is 25 pounds of fat. The female body will work very hard to keep about 25 pounds of fat on it. And if you start to fall below that, a lot of times women will lose their periods, will lose their fertility. So the female body works differently to keep some weight on. So there's clearly biological reasons that underlie this physiological difference. I think society plays a role as well. Right now in our society, we like women small and smiling with large breasts. And women are more likely to go on low-calorie and sometimes very low-calorie diets to maintain this. This is bad. Do not do this. Going on a very low-calorie diet teaches your body that you live in famine land. And in famine land, you don't know where your next meal is coming from. And you'll change your body, you'll change your metabolism, you'll change your hormones to keep the weight on because you don't know when the calories are coming. As one example, there's a hormone called ghrelin. Ghrelin raises your appetite and lowers your ability to burn calories. And a lot of researchers believe that every low-calorie diet you go on may permanently raise your ghrelin levels. So there's a physiological difference between males and females with a lot of causes. Another difference between the male and female body is pain. All right, who is more sensitive to pain, men or women? Men. Everyone thinks it's men. And I think that's because men are more likely to ask for pain meds. Women actually are more sensitive to pain. Women are feeling more pain. Men are asking for the drugs. And so women feel more pain, feel it more intensely, it lasts longer. And I do have to say, this is not fair. This is the cervix. This is a baby's head. Cervix, head, cervix, head. Not fair. Women feel more pain. And there are a ton of biological reasons that underlie this. Cellular differences, anatomical, hormonal, neurotransmitters. At the same stimulus of pain, men release more endorphins. So there's biology that underlie this. I believe society plays a role as well. We learn our response to pain to some degree. And you all know what I'm talking about. Think of a toddler, and they're toddling along, and they fall on their butt. They look at you to see what your response is. And if you go, oh no, oh baby, they cry. And if you just laugh it off, they get up and toddle away some more. We learn our response to pain. Think of a 7-year-old boy and girl. They're playing in a tree, and they fall out of the tree. To the boy, we are much more likely to say, man up, walk it off, don't cry. To the girl, we're more likely to say, oh no, don't climb that tree anymore, play with your easy bake oven, do something else. So there is a clear physiological difference in pain, and this has important medical ramifications. And there are a ton of these differences. Females and males respond to drugs differently. Everything else being equal, women make less of an enzyme called alcohol dehydrogenase. So same size man, same size woman, drinking the same amount, women get more drunk. Men, on the other hand, are more responsive to the effects of caffeine. So there's a ton of physiological differences that have important medical ramifications. We're not really aware of them, and we need to be aware of them. On the other hand, there are behavioral differences that we think are more important than they actually are. We think men are from Mars and women are from Venus, and we overestimate these differences. And I think this is because society sets these standards of what a man is and what a woman is, and we try and maintain these gender roles. So as one example, aggression. Who's more aggressive, males or females? Males. Males are more likely to show physical aggression. So think back in junior high, and you got two boys, and they're in the recess, and they go fight each other, they go punch, and then they're friends again. Males are more likely to show the physical aggression. Females show what's called relational aggression. It's horrible, it's brutal, it's awful. You got 5 girls and their friends, and 4 of them decide to shun one of them. Oh, and they insult her shoes, and they say mean things on Facebook. It's brutal. It is aggression. We don't recognize it as such as much because we look for the physical aggression. Now, there may be some biology that underlies why men are more physically aggressive. Men have more testosterone. Men tend to have stronger upper body strength. But this is one I think it's largely society. Now, society tells us males are more physically aggressive. So they did this study, and they had males and females play a video game. And in this video game, they had to drop bombs on their opponents. And the males, dropping the bombs, and the women weren't as much. They changed the paradigm, and the subjects were now told that it was anonymous, and no one would know who was dropping the bombs. The women, die sucker, yeah, dropped at least as many bombs as the men did. So when we took away that gender norm, that society saying that it has to be a certain way, that difference went away. One more example, sex. Every single national study of sexual behavior, every single one, shows that males report more sexual partners than women do. And we accept this. This makes sense. Of course, men sleep around more. And there's biology that supports this. There's a saying that sperm are cheap. Men, you have hundreds of millions of sperm. Men make 1,300 sperm every second. 1,300. You're very busy with your sperm and your muscle. So the evolutionary strategy is to spread your sperm, not here, but spread your sperm. The theory says if you sleep with 100 women, impregnate them all, that's going to be 100 babies with your genes. So that's the evolutionary strategy for men. Women, no. Females make 1 egg a month, and women are the ones who get pregnant. So the theory says that the strategy for women, be choosy. Wait, find one partner who will stick around and help raise the offspring. So the biology may support this. But let's revisit those surveys. Every survey that says males sleep with more partners than females do. It makes absolutely no sense. It can't be true. It cannot be true. Because think about this. If this is a survey of heterosexuals, and most of them are, every time a man is sleeping with a woman is sleeping with a man. The numbers have to be the same. The averages have to be the same. So even if it's one very tired woman having sex with 10,000 men, that 10,000 has to go into the average. So they should be the same, and they never are. And there's a number of reasons for this. One of them is we lie. We lie because the societal standard, especially for sexuality, is harsh. You know, a man who has a lot of sexual partners, he's a stud. A woman, we call her a slut. So there's harsh standards, and we try and fit into what society says we should be. One of my favorite experiments ever done, they had college students fill out a survey about their sexual behaviors under 3 different conditions. One of them, they filled it out in a room, alone. It was anonymous. How many partners you had, what have you done? Another group filled out the same survey in a room where the researcher was there and could conceivably see their answers. The third group filled out the same survey when they were hooked up to what they thought was a lie detector test. The results are beautiful. What happened was those who filled out the survey when the researcher was in the room and could conceivably see their answers, men reported this many sexual partners, women reported this many. When they filled it out when they were hooked up to what they thought was the lie detector test, men reported that many, women reported that many. Both men and women lied. Women lied more, which I think makes sense. The penalties for being a sexual woman in our society are harsh. You know, in our society, okay, you get slut-shamed. In other societies, the penalty for being a sexual woman is death. So I think it makes sense that we both lie and women lie a little more. We can do better. And we can give up these preconceived notions of our bodies and our behavior. And our bodies are different, but our souls are the same. We can better recognize the physical differences between males and females so we can provide the best medical care. And we can better recognize that our behaviors don't neatly fit into 2 boxes, one pink and one blue. Now, I'm going to read you a few adjectives. These are words that cross-culturally, universally are recognized to be feminine. Affectionate, compassionate, gentle, understanding. Here are some words that are cross-culturally recognized to be masculine. Willing to stand up for your beliefs, independent, self-sufficient, athletic. Let's get out of our boxes. Let's recognize that both men and women are compassionate and independent and understanding and willing to stand up for their beliefs. Let's change the paradigm so we can best care for and celebrate the diversity of our bodies and still recognize and value the similarity of our souls. Thank you.